Jalen Ramsey has been a name that had been floated around about a month and a half ago when it first came out that the Dolphins were looking to move on from him via trade. And there were some Ravens fans who were like, oh yeah, bring Jalen Ramsey, have him come through, whether he plays corner, if they move him to safety, which would be a lot of fun with this Baltimore Ravens defense. People were saying, if there's a will, there's a way. And obviously, if that happened, the Dolphins would have to pay the majority of his salary, that is, because the Ravens weren't about to pay no 20-something mil to no Jalen Ramsey. But that was more so a pipe dream. But the Ravens, they still do have an issue not even an issue, but a question mark at safety. Who's it gonna be? Obviously, it's gonna be Kyle Hamilton. Obviously, it's gonna be Malachi Starks. But beyond that, we don't know if it's gonna be a veteran, free agent that they bring in, or we don't know if they're gonna go with one of the young guys that are currently on the roster, those being Beau Brade and Sanusi Kane. But my guy LaMarion, he had a very, very interesting way to solve the Baltimore Ravens safety issue. And it's somebody that's actually already on the roster. Let's start with this question. He said, Marlo safety time. This question came from my guy LaMarion. He said, hey, Ingraven, I don't know if you remember, but one time you said Brandon Stephens could play a little safety, but he's gone. He could because he was a safety. He started as a safety. But then the Ravens switched him to corner, then they switched him to safety, then they switched him to corner, then they switched him to safety, then they switched him to corner. They had him going back and forth. But then a couple years ago, he locked in at corner, and he was locking up at corner. But then last year, he regressed quite a bit. I'm not sure what happened. But anyway, yes, he is gone. He's a New York Jet now. But anyway, he said, Washington is out with injury. Yes, Washington is done. Most likely for the year. Not confirmed yet, but mostly he'll be out for at least a significant chunk of the season. And then even if he gets back, he might not get back all the way. So most likely he's done for the year. Let's just assume he's done for the year. But anyway, he said, we should put Humphrey back there because he can catch, hit, lead, anything you want from a safety. It should not be a problem, as we had a couple of DB signings that can take Marlo's DB place while he plays safety. But just a thought. I hope this makes sense to you. And just like the team we play in the Super Bowl next year, I'm out. Ooh, I like that. He putting a Super Bowl stamp on the end of his question. Shout out to my guy LaMarion. Now, Marlon Humphrey, they were to move him to safety. Ooh, see, whenever I thought about that possibility, initially I say no. Why? Because Marlon Humphrey is still playing cornerback at an elite level right here, right now. And I would not want to make what's a strength for the Baltimore Ravens with one of their outside corners who can also play slot corner as well and plays a lot of it. I would not want to make a strength a weakness, because if you take Marlon Humphrey from the cornerback position, then your outside corners are Nate Wiggins, and he did his thing last year. He's going to be nice, man. I mean, he already is nice, but he's going to be nice. Then you got Cheeto Awuzie. We'll see how he is. I know he's a very physical corner. Similar to Brandon Stephens, but he does turn his head around a bit more than Brandon Stephens. You got TJ Tampa. A lot of unknowns there. But he's a versatile corner. He can play zone. He can play man. He can do a little bit of both. But he just hasn't had the opportunity yet. Then you also got Jalen Armour Davis. So Ravens love his potential, but he's been hurt a lot. Then the Baltimore Ravens also drafted 2 rookies, so they wouldn't necessarily be starters. So, but at the same time, when you think about it, you think about a Kyle Hamilton. Think about how he got moved around all over the field. If the Baltimore Ravens were to have Marlon Humphrey as safety, he could be a safety, but he would be more like a safety. Because, Kyle Hamilton, he'll play in the slot sometimes. And Marlon Humphrey, he lives in the slot. They always got that boy in the slot. So even though he could be a safety for the Baltimore Ravens, he could still do a lot of what he's already doing at slot corner as an actual slot corner, but also as a blitzer as well. So him moving to safety, it would change quite a bit of what his role is, but he will still be able to do a lot of the things that he's good at. And if he transitioned to safety, we've said it on here a million times. Whenever that does happen for Marlon Humphrey, it is going to be a seamless, extremely smooth transition. Why? Because Marlon Humphrey is such a great player. I love the attributes that you listed for Marlon Humphrey when you made your pitch for him being a Baltimore Ravens safety. He said he can catch, which last year, like, before Marlon Humphrey ain't had no hands. Whatever he did last year, keep on doing it, Hump. Teach it to all the other Ravens corners so they can catch every single interception that gets thrown their way, because you had it last year. Last year, Marlon Humphrey was catching everything, and it's like, why, Hump? All right, let's go, Marlo. Anyway, he said he can catch, yes. He can hit, yeah. Marlon Humphrey ain't scared to just whack somebody straight up. He ain't afraid to blindside somebody. Marlon Humphrey, he been physical from jump. I'll never forget, and I told this story before. I remember when the Ravens first drafted him in his rookie year. It was preseason, and Marlon Humphrey, he was playing in a preseason game, and he went low on somebody. He flipped him. I was like, whoa, who is that? And it was Marlon Humphrey. I said, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's a hitter right there. Anyway, he said he can catch, he can hit, he can lead. So, yeah, he is one of the Baltimore Ravens leaders. And what is he in year 9, I think? Something like that. He been around the Ravens for a while, man. Well, we got drafted in 2017, I want to say. Oh, don't quote me on that because I don't remember for sure. But Marlon Humphrey been around for a minute. He been around for a minute. He was one of the older guys on the team, one of the veterans on the team. One of the longest tenured Ravens on the team, obviously, besides John Harbaugh, because Tucker is gone. Sam Cook's been gone for a minute. Yeah, I think it's Marlon Humphrey. I think he's the longest one. Because am I missing somebody? No, I don't think I am. I think Marlon Humphrey is the longest tenured Raven, I believe. I got to just double check the roster, though. But anyway, he is a veteran, so he can definitely lead, like you said. And he said, really, anything you need from a safety, it shouldn't be a problem. And it wouldn't be. But, again, the only pushback, which is the biggest pushback with this whole thing, Marlo could do it. Marlon Humphrey could do it for sure. But since he's still an elite cornerback, you want to leave that as is. Now, normally I would say we finally reached my favorite part of the videos where we get to feature your questions, but from the jump, we've already been featuring your questions, so this video is literally all about y'all. So let's get into it. If you would like to be a part of sending your question, having it featured in a video, send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com. For the Team Keep It Clean patrons, if you would like to become one and join them, go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. Shout out to all the channel members, the Team Keep It Clean patrons, and really just the whole Team Keep It Clean, because y'all are like that. First question came from a Team Keep It Clean patron, my guy, Be More Mike 51. Appreciate you, my friend. He said, hello, Ingraven. It's been a while since my last question. Yeah, it has been. Well, what is it, like 2.5 months? It's been a little minute, but that's okay. No worries, my friend. I appreciate you. He said, I've been battling some serious health issues, but I've been fighting like the Ravens, and now, and as for now, I'm in remission. Oh, okay, hey, good to hear. I'm glad you're doing better. I'm glad you're in remission, so you're on the back end now. So that's great. Great. Always great to hear great news about that. Always. So we appreciate you being willing to share that. Rooting for you, big homie. I know you got it, though. I already know you got it. We ain't worried about it. We know you got it. You know you got it. So you're going to be straight, man. He said, but enough about me. As always, I pray you and the family are doing great. My question is, if we bring back Clowney. You ain't forget about my guy Clowney. We ain't forget about him. JD, 24. I mean, you know Malachi Starks. He got 24. But Clowney, we can work out a number for you. But anyway, he said, if we bring back Clowney, do you think we will get rid of Ojabo this season, or do we try to ride with depth? Well, good question. They would have options. They could do whatever they wanted to do, really. Because with David Ojabo, there was obviously that hope that, all right, this guy's going to turn the corner. All right, this guy's going to be something special. All right, this guy, he was supposed to be a first-round pick, but then he got hurt. All right, he got it. He's special, but we just haven't been able to see it yet. At least on a consistent basis. And then last year, the Ravens, they weren't even playing. He was inactive over and over and over and over and over. So Clowney, I feel like with Jadeveon Clowney, if they were to bring him on, whatever's happening with Ojabo, it's still going to happen regardless, because Ravens already showed you last year where they're at with Ojabo. Now, things could change. If he come out and have a crazy training camp or something like that, which hopefully he does, hey, maybe he might try to get in the mix again as far as getting playing time. And that'd be great for him and great for the Ravens. But it's just to be determined. But with Jadeveon Clowney, he would definitely take reps. I mean, I can't even say take reps because Ravens took reps from him last year. Ravens took reps from Ojabo last year, and Clowney was nowhere to be found on the Ravens last year. So I can't even say he would take reps from Ojabo, but Clowney would certainly have a much bigger, larger role than David Ojabo would have with the Baltimore Ravens. But would they actually keep him for depth? it will be tough. I could even see them trading him for like if they could get a fifth, that would be a steal in my opinion. If they could get a fifth, but I could see them trading him for like a 6th or 7th pick to a team just looking for a depth piece pass rusher that they would hope that can break out. I could see them doing that. So yeah, I could see them moving on. But at the same time, if they just let him ride it out, really everything's up in the air right now. But I can see them doing either or, really either or. But I don't feel like right now, I don't think the Baltimore Ravens have so much faith in a David Ojabo to where his roster spot is super valuable. I know they do have that roster spot exemption for him though, so that helps him a lot because he doesn't necessarily count against the roster. I forgot how that whole thing works, but anyway, he said because as Washington showed us, injuries can come from nowhere, and hopefully, like this cancer, I'm out. Oh, it will be. It will be. Again, we appreciate you, Baltimore Mike. Appreciate you a lot, man. And he said, you're still the GOAT to me. Nah, no, you are the GOAT because you about to take that cancer and whack it. Way too early predictions for 2025. Next question came from my guy, Joshua B. He said, what's up, Ingraven? Hope you and your family is doing great and well. Even the dogs. Hey, I appreciate that. I just gave them a bath today, so they nice and fresh. Got the little detangler and the deodorizer from Target, so they could smell extra good. So they could really be Team Keep It Clean. Boy, they sure needed a bath. But anyway, he said this is the beginning time of the year when we all are ready for the season, or at least just practice clips. So I was thinking about the next season and wanted to give you and the Team Keep It Clean my record predictions, which the last 2 years I've guessed right. So I'm 2-0, and I'll give my stats predictions as well. I have us going 13-4. Okay, ain't mad at that at all. That's very realistic, especially with this team. Yeah, I could see that. He said, and I see us splitting with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, that's realistic too, even with Mason Rudolph. Yep, because our Ravens teams have lost to guys like Mason Rudolph, Devin Duck Hodges, and Kenny Pickett. So yeah, man, yeah. And Ravens, like, I know a lot of people, we see the Ravens team, some people, 17-0. I'm like, hey, that'd be great. But nah, it ain't happening. Ravens, they always got them games where you like, what is going on? What are we doing? How did we lose that every year? And that's okay. I mean, it's frustrating, but it is what it is. But they still, 13-4, like you said, that's still straight. But anyway, he said, I see us splitting with the Steelers mainly because the last game we played is them again, and we already locked up the division. Chiefs, Rams, and Packers. Ooh, those are games you see us losing against the Chiefs, the Rams, and Packers. He said the record or team might change for me around the beginning of the season, but I feel like this season will be a fun season. Oh yeah, that's Ravens for you. Ravens don't make nothing boring. They don't. Nothing is boring with them at all. He said now for the player stats. Lamar 4,300 plus yards with 45 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Okay, so better than last year. More touchdowns. About the same amount of interceptions because last year he threw 4 or 5. I had said the number so much throughout the season that I actually forgot it. But yeah, around the same as last year. 1,000 rushing yards for Lamar with 4 touchdowns. I think he had 4 touchdowns last year, but I was about to say he only had 900 rushing yards, but that's still a lot. Like, that's still a lot. That's your quarterback. He's still doing this thing on the ground, too. He said, Mr. 3-time MVP should have already been a 3-time MVP. Yeah. He said, but y'all know. Yeah, we do. MVP, the donation to Josh Allen. Anyway, he said, Derrick Henry, 1,600 to 1,800 rushing yards with 18 touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown. That sounds very realistic. It really does. What we saw last year, and he'll be another year into this system, and hopefully the Ravens can use him even better than they used him last year. So, yeah. He says, Zay Flowers, 80-plus catches. Yeah, I could definitely see that because Lamar be spamming Zay Flowers, boy. But then in the second half, the Ravens and the offense, they be like, all right, hey, Zay Flowers, that's enough. No more for him. But anyway, so Zay Flowers, 80-plus catches, 1,150 yards and 7 touchdowns. Ooh, whoa, you got Zay Flowers getting some numbers. Okay, now. I ain't mad at that. Bateman, 60-plus catches, 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. Very realistic, especially what we saw last season. Isaiah Likely, 55 catches, 650 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Andrews, 45 catches, 550 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Oh, so you, by these numbers, it looks like you see Likely taking over for Andrews, being very, very close. But you giving Likely more catches, more yards, and more touchdowns. Ooh, see what you did there. DeAndre Hopkins, 35 plus catches, 450 yards, and 4 touchdowns. That'd be reasonable. I would up that a little tiny bit. Nothing crazy, though. Justice Hill, 25 more catches, 300 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. Charlie Kohler, 15 catches, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Pat Ricard, 3 catches, 20 plus yards, and 1 touchdown. Okay, because, he be having those little sneaky catches in there. Okay, so now defense. Calvin Oy, 10.5 sacks. Matta Beaks, 10 sacks. Oh, so back in double digits for Matta. Okay. Oh, wait, 10 sacks. Okay. Contract year. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Mike Green, 7.5 sacks. Look at you being modest with the rookie. I like that. I respect that. A lot of us, we like, I mean, me too. Y'all know I'm crazy, but so I ain't crazy all the time, just most of the time, just about 99.9% of the time. But a lot of us could be like, oh, Mike Green, 12 sacks, Mike Green, 15 sacks, but I appreciate you being modest and reasonable with this. Travis Jones, 2.5 sacks. Tavius Robinson, 2.5 sacks. Very realistic. Aeneas Peebles, 2.5 sacks. Broderick Washington, 1.5 sacks. Okay. And then Roquan Smith, 165 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 interception. A lot of tackles. How many for loss? He said Trenton Simpson, 85 tackles, 2.5 sacks. Okay. So you assume that he's going to be out there a lot then. All right. So Trenton Simpson redemption season. Marlo, 40 plus tackles, 1.5 sacks. Oh, yeah. He getting that because he be blitzing sometimes. 11 pass breakups and 4 interceptions. Nate Wiggins, 30 tackles, 13 pass breakups, and 5 interceptions. Okay. Super Duper Kyle, 110 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 7 pass breakups, and 4 interceptions. Another defensive player of the year type year for Kyle Hamilton, Super Duper Kyle. And then Malachi Starks, 55 tackles, 6 pass breakups, and 5 interceptions. So you got the rookie just balling from jump. I like that. Shout out to my guy, Joshua. He said, what do you and Team Keep It Clean think about these predictions? Also, do you think we go from one undrafted free agent to another undrafted free agent safety on the team? Ooh, it sounds like you talking about Beau Brade. Or is you talking about somebody else? Let us know. But it's possible. It's really possible. But we'll see how this thing plays out, man. And he said, or do we get a veteran to play the third safety? Again, I've been back and forth on that, and I'm sure the Ravens have been too, especially with how things been going these past couple of years. But it's tricky. It's a real tricky one. And he said, much love, and until the next email. Hey, appreciate you, Joshua B. This question came from my guy, Jacob. What's up, Jacob? He said, first question. Okay, appreciate that. He said, first, thanks for building an awesome community. Hey, no, it's all y'all. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It's all y'all, for real, man. He said, it's cool to have a clean, safe space my son can follow our team. Hey, shout out to you and your son, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's Team Keep It Clean. Everybody welcome to come through. Everybody. So I appreciate that. It's very, very important that that is what it is. That it ain't nobody that's got to be like, oh, man, you can't watch that. No, man. Everybody come through, man. You just have fun on here. Don't take nothing too seriously. Have a good time. We try to be informative as we can. We try to help people understand stuff. I know y'all for sure help me understand a whole lot, because y'all know 1,000,003 more times than I do with all of this football stuff on the Ravens. Y'all be teaching me every single day, every single question. Y'all got it for real. Y'all really do. Y'all are extremely smart. Please know that. Like, y'all are a real deal. Anyway, he said, do you ever consider doing like a testimony video, even on a different channel? Like I said, it's cool to have an environment like this, and I'm always curious why it was important for you to build Team Keep It Clean the way you did. Oh, that's a really, really good question. But yeah, we can talk about that right here. Like, it was important for me to do that. One, because I'm just a fan. We all just fans of the team. I'm not no expert in nothing. I don't know more than average person. I'm just a fan. So I root for the Ravens, hope that they succeed, give my suggestions on what I feel they can do to improve, how I feel they should be better, how I feel they already do a good job at and whatnot. That's it. We just a fan. We not an analyst. We not this, that. We just a fan. That's it. But I wanted to make a space where other fans could be heard. And other fans could be heard without having to feel like feeling belittled, because or feeling less than, without feeling less than, because we all equal, we all on the same page. Nobody's better than the next person, no matter what position you in, no matter what. We all on the same level. And I wanted to create a safe space for Ravens fans, or really just football fans in general, to be able to express themselves, get their points across. Because I know when you could be on some of the forums, some of the chat rooms, some of the comment sections, it could get ugly. It can get real ugly. But I wanted to create an as safe as possible an environment for people to just express themselves on how they feel about their favorite football team. And like I said, we family here, man. So we talk football, but we talk a bunch of other stuff too. We talk whatever. And, we can go on a rant in these videos and just be talking for like 50 minutes straight. It's easy. But yeah, man, that's what it's all about. And just making sure that people feel welcomed. People know that what they say matters. They're not just talking to thin air. I know I try. I'm still working on it, y'all, but I'll be trying to be in the comment section as much as I can. But like I said, my mind, it be going, and I'll already be thinking. Once I finish one video post, I'll already be thinking, all right, what's going to be next? Sometimes I have it in my mind. A lot of times I don't, and it's just a crazy process. But I just wanted people to know that their voice, it counts. Their voice matters, and their voices are heard. So that's what questions from Team Keep It Clean, stuff like that's for. And that's why we just try to create a fun environment for everybody, as fun as we possibly can make it. So that's it. And he said his real question, he said, when, he ain't say if, he said, when we get the chip, are you going to do a community event? Oh, that would be something to think about. So I appreciate you just putting that out there and giving me that idea to do something. But yeah, we'll figure all that out. We would definitely, that would be great to do something. Because obviously Ravens would have that parade and stuff, but we could figure out how to do a little Team Keep It Clean thing after that. So that'd be a lot of fun.